I totally served one of my high school teachers at the dispensary when I was still there. He became one of
Now,
our
would they be
regulars.
retired or no?
Um, I think
Because like I know that it's not
he
you're
was
ancient,
just
but you're still in high
nearing
school a while ago.
like he was just nearing retirement, I think, at this point. He was a very new teacher because of course, I was in alternative high schools.
Yeah.
So he was a very new teacher at the time. But yeah, like he wound up becoming the director of the English department in a local town. And then here he was, my customer. And we're like, we always knew you smoked weed, you know?
Oh yeah, there's teachers that I ended up finding out smoked weed like after the fact because they'd buy from the homie that I was helping grow.
Well, shit. I think
Is that
it's
like one of those moments where you're like, sorry, Sean, is that one of those moments where you're just like, it's like, I see you. I see you.
yeah.
But you
Like
don't say nothing more than that.
it's like
It's just
yeah,
like,
everything now makes sense.
yeah,
Yep. I think it's a good place to start. What do you guys say?
Oh, I
dude,
thought
I'm
we
done.
started, to be honest.
Exactly. So let's get into it. It's the Shedtime podcast in 3, 2, 1. Hit it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Shedtime. What is Shedtime, you ask? Well, it's code for the consumption of cannabis, but it's much more than that. Shedtime's a state of mind. It's art, it's music, it's cryptocurrency, technology, it's food, it's vaping. It can be whatever you want it to be, as long as you're not letting the bastards get you down, not being a dick, and making it fun. When you're in the shed, it's whatever your mind allows you to create. So now let's get to the Shedtime podcast.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, guys, I totally miss that situation because it was always entertaining to run into people either at the weed store that you knew who were in those positions in life and be like, oh, hey. I mean, even when I used to be a courier, I actually ran into one of the head librarians that I used to go serve as a courier, uh, as one of my customers in the dispensary, and I was like, "Oh, dude, this is no wonder we vibed." You totally passed the vibe check for a reason. I get it.
I'm sure that there was like people that were teaching in high school when I was there that smoked weed, but like I would have just been guessing. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you guys were saying before, you're like, oh, that makes sense now. That makes sense. I think that there's some people that would make sense for. Even if I'd have met them like 15 years ago, I'd have been like, makes sense.
Well,
Makes
I mean,
sense.
you knew that the art teacher's room always smelled like weed.
Actually, the art teachers room always smell like patchouli.
That was to cover the smell of the weed.
Most likely, dude.
They burned a fat one in the car on the way in and then fucking doused themselves in patchouli because like nothing can withstand the smell of patchouli. That
Yeah, it
isn't
kind of cuts
secret.
through everything. I feel like it definitely just like cuts through everything. It's like one drip of that will ruin like the smell of something. Like if you're making like some fragrance, like to me, not ruin it, it'll take it over.
Yeah, it'll just completely overpower everything else.
Yeah, man. Like I honestly even find that with like e-liquid stuff. Like if I'm making something and I want a subtle, there's like some concentrates that say that they're this, but they're not the same this as another one that says that it's that. If that makes sense.
Yep.
And some of them it's like, dude, you put it in at like 1% and you'd never know it was there, and you're like, man, shit, that's not high enough. And then other ones it's at like 0.5%, and you're like, this literally ruined it. That's
Like
almost
that's
all I
too
taste.
much.
It's like I taste that and the faintest of whatever I wanted. So it makes
Huh.
sense.
So in the world of taste, I just got to preface if I get a little spacey at points today. Your boy made some extremely aggressive
Edibles?
edibles. Yeah. So I got a homie at work. He had been just kind of like pulling the reclaim out of his dab rig for the last like couple of years. He had like a couple ounces. He's like, I told him like, yeah, you could cook with it, like it'll work. So he actually gave it to me. He's like, all I want is just some of the edibles. All right, bet. So I made some fudge this weekend. I probably put anywhere between 4 and 5 grams of this shit into a single stick of butter.
Okay. Okay.
So a single piece of this fudge is hitting you, boy, pretty hard already. I'm a couple hours deep since I've eaten it, and yeah, I think I'll be peaking here somewhere mid-show. And it's hitting
Can
hard,
I just say that I'm ready for it?
dude.
Like I'm
it-
ready for it.
It's one of those things like when I went to go eat it, I was like, you ever eat an edible that is so weed flavored, it's almost gross?
Yes.
That's where this fudge is. Like, it is so aggressively weed flavored. You need something to wash it down with because it's just that in your face. But it works. And it works greatly.
That sounds like it. I've never chased like any edible like weed stuff, like any cannabis. Like I've never chased it. Like times, but like not
Yeah, like
anything cannabis. I
like-
might like take a sip of something because my mouth is dry as fuck. But I don't think that that's like me trying to mask it as opposed to just me trying to survive.
well, it's not even like a
It's
mask it.
survival.
It's like it is just so damn aggressive that like I ate a piece of that fudge, chew it, swallow it, and it's like holy heavy thickness of just weed chocolate all inside my mouth. I have to just take a sip of something, wash it down. It's like, all right, now I can take the next bite. Like it's aggressive. I like it because that's what it takes for me to get that edible to work. But woo, boy, yeah. So it's gonna be fun as this continues to peak. But I've been meaning to ask you guys because we haven't brought it up on this show yet. Did you guys hear about the fact that there was an arrest made in the murder of Tupac?
Yeah, I saw that.
Like
Can you say that one more time? Sorry.
they actually arrested somebody finally for the murder of Tupac Shakur.
For real.
Yes. 100% real.
And who was it?
So I'm not going to remember the name immediately offhand, so I pulled up an
It's like there's
article
been like
here.
tons of theories like over the
So-
last 20 odd years, right?
A grand jury has indicted Dwayne Keith, otherwise known as Keefe D. Davis, on charges of murder with use of a deadly weapon in connection with the 96 killing of rapper Tupac Shakur, according to Las Vegas authorities. Davis, who is now 60, was arrested in Las Vegas at their Henderson home. It was searched in July as part of an ongoing investigation into the shooting. So basically, he is the last person alive of the 4 or 5 people who were involved in the actual shooting. So he was present in the vehicle during the shooting, and it is claimed that he was even the one who provided the weapon that shot Tupac. So we've reached a point
Damn.
where we are finally seeing something happen in one of, music's greatest mysteries, basically.
Where was that guy from? Was that guy East Coast?
Vegas area, as I recall.
No, like where he's originally from.
The Vegas area, as I recall.
Oh yeah, he was like born and raised. Okay.
So basically, it all
So like the
stems
whole
from
theory of like East Coast like is the reason why they did it because there was always like the beefs between East Coast and West Coast. It's
See,
So-
but that was manufactured by the fucking media, bro. It was never an East versus West Coast. It was a death row
Bad boy
bad
issue.
boy issue.
So
Never had anything to do with the East or the West.
the dude who has been indicted, he was friends with the guy who Tupac and everybody jumped in the casino. So I mean, if we follow this at all,
Okay.
we've seen that footage, right? Where like Tupac gets into this fight on the floor of the casino, and him and his whole crew getting, they stomp this dude out. Keefe D was friends with that guy. The big question, and it's something that 50 Cent has been alluding to lately, is that Puffy may have put money up for these dudes to actually kill Pac. The whole Puffy situation's weird, man. Have you ever heard of the shit that 50 Cent has to say about Puffy and Puffy's parties?
I've
No.
heard a lot of accusations about Puff from a lot of different people over the years.
Yeah, man. 50 Cent says that
how old is sorry, Sean, how old's like Puff Daddy now? Like 50?
something like that, yeah.
Okay.
But 50 says he will not attend a Puffy party because shit gets really weird and uncomfortable there.
What is weird and uncomfortable?
So let's
That's
see here.
subjective, right? So I need to know.
He talks about male on male intimate experiences as some of the things he's alluding to. So I gotta pull up some of this because I don't want to misquote 50 Cent here.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like 50's not one person that I want to be like, oh yeah, 50 said this. Here we go.
I'm pretty sure he's not going to find you, but yes, don't misquote him. Don't misquote him.
So this comes from complex.com. Pretty reputable hip hop source these days, right? But 50 Cent says he's no longer going to Diddy's parties because he hugs you from the front and the back at the same time. So this is the quote. That's the quote from 50. So he says he hugs you from the front and the back at the same time. Fuck you talking about? This ain't my kind of party. That's the exact quote, direct from 50. But yeah, apparently Puff's parties.
What does that mean, Sean? Do you know? James, do you know?
Sorry, I kind of wasn't paying attention.
Hug you from the front and the back at the same time. Like that's the quote.
I don't care. I don't care what he's trying
what does
to
that
say.
mean?
It does not. I don't know. So I'm not into whatever it is. I don't know what it is. So I'm out.
Yeah, So the full context says that's why I don't be going to them Puffy parties. You know what he's gonna drop that M-bomb, right? But he's like, he'll hug you from the front and the back at the same time. Fuck you talking about? Look, if you into that, you into that. 50 said on stage. I'm fine with it. To each his own. I'm just saying this ain't my motherfucking kind of party. It's uncomfortable. I think I belong in the girls' bathroom when shit like that be going on. So he's alluding to the fact that there's some like that Diddy's like grabbing men from the front and the back. That it's getting a little bit sexual. That there's some sort of tension that is in the air during these experiences. And I mean, this just kind of falls back to that thing we were talking about before with that whole like Hollywood conspiracy, right? Like there's always that conspiracy that you got to do some weird and crazy shit to become super successful in the music and the entertainment industry. And then you hear 50 talk about that. And you go, what's going on, man? What's going on? This shit's weird.
Dude, honestly, like I guess like once you get to a certain comfortability with yourself, no matter what, like you just do whatever, bro. I guess like that's fine. And just like 50 said apparently.
Well,
so, you can do that. But like that's not a good time for me. So like I'm out.
You make it actually a valid point.
He was dumping that party heavy.
You make a valid point though. Like when you are that rich and successful, you can do what you want to do. Like if that's the lifestyle you're into, you can just
did I say rich and successful or did I just say comfortable?
No, like, you just said being comfortable with yourself, but I'm saying when you're that kind of rich and successful, like I'm I'm saying rather
You
than
can
it's
facilitate things a lot better for
right,
sure.
like rather than
Like
it's
you're gonna be
being
able to throw
a
like a 50K, 100K party easily, for whatever kind of endeavor or like event you want to have.
like
So like if it's that and you're gonna spend 250K, like you got money, you can do it for sure.
right, like
You could
I'm
have that
saying
party
like
for free,
I
but
don't think the being successful brings on that kind of personality trait. I think that personality trait is there, and by being
yeah,
successful, they can facilitate it further. Because you know, it bears argument. Like average people still have those kind of parties, right?
oh for sure.
So if you're Diddy, you can still have that kind of party, but it's just going to be on a whole other level with a whole different kind of guest list.
Oh, dude, because the party like is irrelevant, right? So, sorry, what they're doing at the party is irrelevant. It's just the party, right? So, like, you think that if you're gonna go to like P Diddy's house for a Super Bowl party, it's just gonna be like super mid. You're just sitting there and like Domino's rolls up and you got some Cheetos. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, here, have a bud, dude. I got a bud. Here, is it? Oh, sorry, I only got Michelob Light.
I think
That's not gonna happen at a Puff Daddy Super Bowl party. So like,
all of this makes me think, you know what? I have a feeling what really happened is 50 got invited to one of those kind of parties and he didn't understand what it was until he showed up. Like you ever hear the stories of somebody showing up at a key party?
no, I've honestly never heard a key party like story.
Oh, so a key party is when
Oh, I know what it is, but I've
yeah.
never heard of anybody
Okay,
doing it.
okay.
I've never heard
So
like the I was there, this is what happened.
so I maybe it's just, you know, comedians or you know, people telling stories for dramatic effect when I've heard these kind of stories, but you have these situations where people show up to what as a key party not knowing what a key party is supposed to be, you know, putting the key in the pot. And then once the keys start getting exchanged, that's when they find out what's really going on and they start to panic. And it makes me wonder if that's really what's going on is, you know, somebody's showing up to the party, not understanding what the party is. And then they go, oh, we fucked up.
Here's the thing. I feel like if you're going to a party like of that stature with those types of people, odds are some weird things are going to be happening. I feel, you know.
Just expecting Bohemian Grove when we walk in. Be
Yeah.
happy if it's not that.
Yeah, exactly. You know, expect the worst but hope for the best sort of situation. You know, and then like you said, if you ain't into it, you just fucking leave. You know what I mean? He's like, I ain't in for it. I'm out. Do you, but no thank you.
Dude, I'd
Oh
just be
man.
like the dude chilling out front, like back in the day. But now I'd just be like chilling out front, just like vaping, seeing people come in and out. I used to love doing that at parties all the time. Just like seeing all the people come in, you get to see. And honestly, dude, I just smoke cigarettes like all the time. Like if I was drinking, I'd just always be smoking. So like, it's not like you get smoking at everybody's house at a house party. So I'd just be like kicking it on the front stoop, just drinking, smoking.
I
I don't have to go in and see the biz, you know?
I've done a handful of different parties where that's been kind of the scenario. But then there's always that story of the thing you missed because you were on the porch smoking, hanging out with that group of people.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
And
Like,
that was always the bummer because that was where the fucking hysterical moment happened. Like, shout out to the homie who walked into the party with his fresh bottle of booze and just went and just dropped an entire bottle of booze onto a concrete floor. Unbelievable. What a sight. What a sight.
some people just have that special ability to do the dumbest shit possible and not even on purpose.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I miss parties like that, but I don't miss parties like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just the shit that can happen when alcohol is involved can be funny, but it could also be really bad at the same time,
Yeah.
depending on who's involved. You know what I mean?
I mean, I've got some fond memories of some kinds of parties like that. But at the end of the day, I also got a lot of not fun
Yeah,
memories of the results of those parties.
they usually start out all fun and whatever, but usually don't end that well as the night continues. That's what I've learned in my experiences.
Honestly, I miss a good Halloween party. Ain't nobody throwing good Halloween parties in my world anymore, and that's sad.
I feel like they're still going on, Sean. We're just not invited to the cool
Well, that's what I'm
parties
saying. Like,
anymore.
but like
It's
the people I know, like they're not throwing Halloween parties like that,
But
and
you also gotta
it's a
think about
bummer,
it too,
man.
Sean. We're all getting older now, you know. So a lot of us have kind of phased out of the party scene, I feel, at this point. And I don't think a lot of it honestly, like my sister, I think's throwing one next weekend. And I'm probably not gonna get involved, but I'm probably gonna do what Chris does and just kind of like peek out and just kind of like see like who's all there and like, all right, cool. And then just come back in here and just like chill.
I thought about it because, like, end of the day, if you come to my house, like Chris saw it, there's like random spooky Halloween shit around my house. You're fucking round. Like, that's just how I live. So, like, I've thought about it, but for me, the issue is it all just smacks too much effort. And I don't want to fucking put that much effort into actually planning and throwing a party.
Well, dude, actually, it's funny because like when I was at Sean and Lizzie's, I was like, "Oh, dude, I was like, yo, you got fucking Halloween decorations." He's like, "Nah, those are all year round decorations." But like to me, I when I after I said it, I was like, "Oh, was that like mean to say or something?" Because like to me, it's just a Halloween decoration, like is the visual, not that like you only put it up at Halloween, right? Like a jack-o'-lantern is a Halloween thing, but you can keep it up all year round. You know what I'm saying? That was like my mind. It's funny because you said that, and then I like popped in my brain. I was like, "Yo, I remember that." Fuck. I was like, I called the Halloween things in your house, and you're like, "Nah, those are up all year round."
Yeah, like, well, I mean, that's the thing. When I hear people talk about decorations, it's a theme decoration, right? Like people put up 4th of July decorations, for example, for the 4th of July. They put up Christmas decorations for Christmas. So, like, yes, there are people who have Christmas decor year round, just as much as people like me who have Halloween decor out year round. But in my brain, I just hear it is the seasonal things that you put out. And it's like, no, 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 I keep it out year round. That's just me. I keep it spooky.
Yeah, my
Yeah, dude.
sister's
It's like
very
some people
similar.
like Christmas and whatever.
She's big into Halloween and stuff like that. So like that's her big thing. But like, dude, my mom's ridiculous when it comes to like holiday decorating. She's for every season, she's got different decorations she's got to put up in the house, and you know what I mean. They only stay up for a certain amount of time, and then she's got to change them up for the next holiday or season or whatever. She's kind of narrowed it down more now more into just a season compared to like each holiday. Just because like
No,
it's so much
no,
shit, dude. But
no.
I when I think about like holiday decorations, I remember my grandmother used to do the big like Christmas scene stuff
mhm.
every year, and she'd always like make it more and more elaborate. And like I remember at one point it got like as a young kid, it got to a point where like this little foyer that she built it in, you almost had to be careful going in there because it was like 3 goddamn tables cobbled together with all the fake snow and everything all over the place. And I remember always being like amazed at this whole display and then realizing that like holy shit, this is like hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of little miniature houses and
Hey,
all these other things and hours that she would spend like every year just putting this whole thing together. And then she had a Halloween version. So transfer it all over to a Halloween scene, like amazing.
They're
Some
very
people are
similar
just
thing.
too talented like that.
There was a point like growing up as a kid, like we had this very elaborate like front yard decoration situation for Christmas where we had like Santa's sleigh on the roof and this giant wreath hanging off the garage with lights all the way around the
Wanna go in
house
there?
and like all the trees were wrapped and like all this different shit. And then we had like all these different inflatables in the front yard and dude, it was fucking nutty.
Yeah, like it's
Dude, it's not like some of these other houses. Like, have you seen that one house that decorates for Halloween? And he's got like the whole house like wired up to like do a show to chop suey, and it's got like fucking fire and fucking all kinds of shit.
like the people who do that blows my mind because I back when I used to manage the Spirit Halloween stores and stuff, we used to sell those kits, and just like the starter kit, like the little receiver itself that you like takes the music that you program into is like a couple $100, and then you have to like get expansion modules in order to sync the number of lights that some of these people have to use to do their whole house that way. It's incredible. It takes a lot of work to synchronize that shit.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even fucking think about like how do you even program what lights do what and what color they're supposed to change or what direction they're supposed to go and all that. Like that's fucking nutty.
That's the thing. Like they have simple packages, obviously, where like you can
Indeed.
It kind of just figures it out based on certain frequencies in the sound. But for like the good ones, the ones that like people refer to, like when you watch YouTube and you see them on the news, those are people who literally are spending probably hours programming the way that the lights are going to work. And then on top of all of that, the yards are always meticulously decorated too.
Well, dude, think about it like this, right? When did National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation come out? Because there's
80s,
gonna be
right?
like a new age Clark Griswold that might have even been inspired by Clark Griswold that is like next level of just hobbyists. Because like obviously, you know, everybody's seen those things on like YouTube and stuff where it'll be like they have a full out light show and like all that stuff. There's people that actually do that when it comes to like Halloween or Christmas, and they'll have people like might be at the bottom of a long court down a hill, and they'll be at the end of the hill, and there'll be people like all parked up the hill watching this fucking light show, and they'll do like light shows like every 45 minutes. Like that shit exists.
I know.
Yeah,
So-
that's exactly what we've been talking
It's
about.
incredible.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's
That's what I'm
nutty.
saying. Like,
It's crazy.
I think that there's like people that just do like all sorts of next level shit that you'd think that would cost like tens of thousands of dollars, if not more. But they would be able to like it's crazy, dude.
One of my coworkers.
Imagine Clark Griswold with all that. Oof.
Yeah, one of my coworkers is one of those people. Like in my local area, he goes all out in his neighborhood and does his whole yard up. Incredible. Like he was telling me they bought like actual Hollywood grade fog machines so they can fog the entire yard. The problem is if you leave them for too long, it fogs the whole street. And it'll roll down like 4 or 5 houses away in each direction. Because they're just that beast of a fog machine. But he's one of those people. Like he doesn't do the whole synchronized light shows and stuff, but he does meticulously plan everything out and buy
Like the
like
visual alone. It's not like moving visuals. It's like just like the vibe.
yeah, like the whole yard is like one whole scary horror fest.
Yeah. They turn their
up.
like fucking front yard into like a haunted house experience almost. Like
Yep.
there's this dude that actually has like a like broken down fucking plane that he hauls out into his
that's
front
sick.
yard, so it looks like a fucking plane crash scene in his front yard. It's fucking crazy.
That's fire. Like that's dedication.
But yeah, there used to be this one house growing up where you'd have to like go through it like a little haunted maze in order to get to the door to get candy. And dude, there'd always be like the kids like standing outside of it, not wanting to go in. And then of course we'd just like run through it because like we'd been through it every year and we always want to see what was different, you know?
Yeah. Shout out to my old friend Dottie. I hope Dottie's still doing it. But Dottie used to work for me at the Halloween stores, and then later on in life, she actually worked for me again when I used to manage a convenience store. Um, but
Just by chance.
yeah, completely by chance. Like I had moved on to different jobs, and then like here I am at the convenience store, and Dot ends up becoming one of my employees. It was a trip, but Dot was one of those people who she's been building a haunted driveway every year for like the last 20 or 30 years at this point. And like she goes nuts every year at clearance time at the Halloween stores to get everything for 50% off so she can bulk up for next
Smart.
year's.
Smart.
Yeah. And so by working at the store with me, she learned even more little tricks, was able to do things like get her hands on dirt cheap stuff because she got her, discount and everything. And then she was able to start to like modify stuff. So the last time I went, she basically had her whole driveway down into this garage on her property, and then it would turn you back around, and then you could get candy and head out. It was incredible. And it just all from her pure dedication. She starts building in September for Halloween.
Preparation, dude.
It's incredible. So big shout out to Dottie. Like I said,
Dude,
I hope she's still doing it.
I've never had the drive to do anything like that, but I totally love the idea of people doing stuff.
You ever
like
go
that.
to haunted houses and stuff like growing up as a kid, Chris?
Yeah, for sure, dude. So one of the big fairs around me was on Thanksgiving weekend for us. So it would have been like last weekend.
Mhm.
So it's like a fall fair, right? And you're in October, you're like leading up to, obviously like Halloween. But yeah, they would always have like a haunted house there. There's also like a pretty good haunted house at Wonderland, like at the big ass amusement park that was like close to my house, but it's like close to Toronto. I think it was called the House of Horrors. I don't even remember. But yeah, I used to go to those all the time. There was one at another fair that I went to, but I don't remember where it was. I don't know if you guys were ever like on this vibe, I guess is really the best way to put it, but like when you were probably anywhere between 18 and 22, and you would just get off work and someone would be like, yo, we're doing this, and you'd be like, yep. I found myself in a bunch of really strange places doing that, but it was fun. And yeah, I remember we went to like it was like a smaller city, and they had one, and we were just saying we ended up doing like a bunch of mushrooms, and like we went into a haunted house. It was a trip, bro.
Yeah, you
But
guys ever work at one?
now,
Dude,
probably, I don't know if I'm not sure if I would like scaring people or
dude,
not.
I'll tell you what, it's a lot better than getting scared by people.
I did it. I did it in like elementary school. Like they did one in the school, but nothing
I
like
did-
good.
I worked at the one at the fairgrounds out here, like it was either like my senior year or right after I graduated high school. Me and my buddy, he worked there like the year before or whatever, so he got me the job there. And dude, it was just a fucking night of debauchery, bro. Let me tell you. Cause like we'd get there a little bit early and we'd fuck around, of course, maybe have like a little drink or something, maybe a little, something, a little smoke, a little something or whatever. And then we get all fucking dressed up in our costumes and shit. And I was like, my whole part in the like my main part in the maze was like there's this part where you're walking through this hallway, like there's like this fucking cage on one side, and on the other side there's like this fucking half body hanging on the fucking wall, and there's like intestines and shit are all hanging out. And come to find out, it ain't no dummy, because it's just me sticking the top half of my body through a wall and pulling my shirt over this like little piece, so it looks like I'm just a dummy hanging there with my intestines hanging out. And as people walk by, I'd like fucking come to life and like try like grab at them and shit. And I have this like all white contact on one of my eyes, so I can like, so it looked like one of my eyes was all whited out and had like fucking blood coming off my face and shit. It was pretty dope. And like, so like I'd scare people
and
there.
You got paid by like the hour.
Yeah, to scare people, bro. It was fucking awesome.
But dude, I'm just thinking, so like you're just there, like every like few minutes, you was like, "Eh," or like whatever.
Yeah, because like I could hear the cues of when people were coming through, so I'd only have to pop and hang into the wall for a certain amount of time, and then I'd just like pop out and just like chill until I heard a scream. Or what I'd do is I'd jump a part of the maze, and I'd get a double scare, and I'd scare the same group again later on in the maze, fucking running around. So like I got a twofer. Dude, and there'd be times where I'd actually pop out of the wall and then follow them through the maze too, as long as I knew I could get back to my spot in time. But dude, it was so much fucking fun, dude.
Dude, like
And
that.
afterwards, we just like hang out in like the little like the center of the maze and just like party and chill for a little bit every night. It was cool.
That's
times.
my kind of shit right there. I remember way back.
I worked with some fucking crazy people though, dude. I'll tell you that.
Well, of course, people who do that shit are not normal.
Yeah, they were not. I would not say they were the model citizens in any way, shape, or
Oh, dude, a
form.
lot of those people that are
Some
like
of them
into
were
that stuff,
sketch, dude.
they would probably pride themselves in being extra.
Yes,
for sure.
exactly.
For
Like
sure.
that's why they're there. Like they like the fact that they can be extra, and it's like okay.
Exactly. These are the people that I used to be friends with as a teenager growing up. Like those were my people.
Definitely wasn't my normal crowd, dude, but it was
Yep.
fun for a couple nights. You know what I mean?
That's
a year.
It's the same kind of vibe. That's why my wife always got into the Renaissance fairs, because like you've got those kind of people who just like
they're into it, bro.
Yeah, when they're there, they're in that moment and they're playing the character and they're just living it for that time. And it's like, that's why some of those people they just like they get hooked on it. It's the same with like doing those haunted houses.
Yeah, I got a question. This just has to do with like kind of what we're talking about. This might make me sound really dumb, but I don't really care. So if you were doing something like when is it considered LARPing? Like what is that a broad thing or is that like one specific thing that you're doing?
So
Like
LARPing,
can you LARP as whatever? Like I could LARP as
Yes.
a police officer?
yes, and kind of no, but kind of
Okay,
yes.
yeah, give me an explanation
So,
here because like
'cause
I'm
I've-
curious.
I had a friend who
don't
was
know.
super into this, so like thank you, Charlie, for giving me this education on LARPing. You
Thank you, Charlie.
fucking odd friend of mine. Hope you're doing well, kid. But so yeah, LARPing, live action role play. To actually technically be involved in a LARP, it is an organized event. So like
Okay.
for example, most people I've known who do LARPing will do more of like a medieval theme LARP where, you've got maybe, knights of this kingdom and knights of that kingdom fighting for territory or gold or something of that nature. And it is live action role play, so you are actually striking each other with your foam swords and things like that. And the only way you're coming back to life is if you have a magical mage of a healer on your team who hasn't been killed yet, who can heal you. Otherwise, you're waiting for someone to come and bring out the dead and remove your dead body from the battlefield, So I suppose to further into your line of question, the live action role play of say a police officer, I suppose yes, you could.
Like that is probably illegal. So that might have been like a poor.
Well, no. Here's the thing: you probably could, in a sense of, there is very likely airsoft scenario situations like that, where like you pick teams, cops and robbers, right? Just in the same way as there are airsoft scenarios where you can go be, World War II recreation stuff. And you can, recreate the invasion of Normandy and shit like that. So that would also technically be a live action role play in that sense.
Don't tell them that though.
but you couldn't just be like, I'm going to go dress like a police officer and run around the town and shoot my toy gun and like say, hey, I'm just live action role playing. That's illegal.
Could I be an off-duty police officer?
Impersonating a police officer is a crime in most every country, I believe.
Let's like just switch up that's what I was saying like before with the police officer. It might like ruin some stuff.
So
like there's gotta be something else. You know what I mean?
So like to further this live action role play, questioning though, there are say Star Wars LARPing events. So you can be,
this is
Jedi
the thing.
battles.
This is the key behind LARPing. All right, I'm gonna nerd out on you guys for a second, okay? Because depending on the situation, bro, it's all dependent on the lore of said LARPing event. Keyword is the lore. So it's all whatever the story is based on the event in said, which LARPing is taking event. You know what I mean? Because most of the time, if there's a LARPing event, there is some sort of storyline or basis of why this battle is happening. Key and point why certain factions or certain, characters may be involved. You know what I mean? So it could be like Sean says, maybe it's a Star Wars themed LARP, or maybe it's a medieval LARP, or like they even do stuff based off of video games, like maybe like a WoW or like a Diablo oriented LARPing situation where it's like you literally, instead of playing your character on the computer, you create your character in life, and those sorts of things, because they do that. They even take it like that step further sometimes, I believe.
Okay, so like let's say that there was like a Halo Fest, and like even though everyone and their brother would probably be doing this, like could I go as Master Chief and like pretend that I'm Master Chief there?
Dude,
would that be LARPing as Master Chief?
I think that would be considered cosplay.
Yeah, that's cosplay. However, if you were to say have a Halo themed
battle
LARP group where like you created,
so LARPing has to do with battles only.
Yes, there has to be some sort of because it's like your live action role playing of a game. You know what I mean? So it's like an RPG, but in real life.
Yeah. So like if your character was, Lord Overdrip, and you had your own, backstory that you've created.
Yeah, you're a knight of the square table or something.
Have you guys ever seen role models?
Yes, that is.
Are they LARPing?
That is 100% what LARPing is.
So that is like when people would mention it, that is like 99% of the time they're implying it's that kind of an event.
You're taking Dungeons 100%. And Dragons to the whole physical conclusion.
To the streets.
Yeah. In that sense,
exactly, that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you could pretty much do that based on whatever story you really want. So like Sean said, you could do like a Star Wars one where people dress up as Star Wars characters and fucking Jedis and run out there with lightsabers. Yeah, you could do
Jedis versus Sith lightsaber fucking battles and stuff like that. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're welcome, anybody out there that didn't know what LARPing was, and for everybody that did, I guess I just am that under a rock.
LARPing is
because like obviously like I thought that it was medieval, but I didn't know that it was like almost exclusive to like that style of like thing. That's all.
Well, and like there are groups who they have like permanent encampments they've built for this sort of thing to continue the lore, and so the LARP does go far beyond the battle, but it all has to do with the conflict, right? So like you'll have the battle, and then maybe there'll be say like a peace treaty is drawn, and then they'll all return to their village and actually like cook a meal and share a meal as part of the peace treaty, as part of the whole like weekend LARP. Like some of these groups are that into it and will go to that depth. And I mean, like, I can't hate on that. That's if you're gonna go do it and you're gonna go that far, like I gotta applaud that. That's dedication, man.
Come here.
And let's be honest, who hasn't want to go out with their friends and beat the shit out of each other with some foam swords?
Oh shit, 100%, right?
When have you ever picked up a foam sword and not hit your buddy. I'll tell you what, never. If you've ever had a foam sword, you have hit somebody with it. If it hasn't been somebody else, it's been yourself at least.
How many Nerf gun fights have we been in our
dude.
lives, right?
Don't
Dude,
even get me
how many
started.
fucking like Christmas paper rolls like you
Oh,
Dude, or
like
balls.
battle, bro,
Yes.
dude?
Either that or just the
Just
fuck,
like
or
fucking-
just balling up the paper after you wrap them and throwing them at each other across the room. for the
Just
whole
you and
morning.
your buddy in the woods with 2 sticks.
Oh yeah,
Huh.
dude.
Huh.
Dude, a good stick, bro.
Dude, good stick fights, man.
Dude, because not only could you use it as a sword, you could use it as a walking stick if you wanted to. You could tie a string on it and make it into like a fishing pole. You
Or a
could,
bow.
yeah, or you could try depending on how flexible it is. You could fucking. There's so many things you could do with the stick, dude.
And of course, when you're a kid at that point, right?
Kids
stick-
don't know what sticks are anymore. I
The-
don't think they understand the quality of a good stick.
Dude,
you
a
know?
stick was everything, bro. It was the coolest fucking ray gun ever. It was
Anything, dude. Sword, lightsaber,
a remote control, a steering wheel.
dude. It could have been anything,
Dude.
Dude, I was always finding water with sticks, bro.
Dude.
You're out here divining with them?
Or dude, I don't think they appreciate a good rock either, bro. When you find a
Dude,
good rock,
I'm
like a
still
good like a good
Dude,
skipping rock.
skipping rocks,
Dude, a
bro.
good skipping rock, bro. I
Skipping
would
rocks,
spend
oh.
out, dude. I'll tell you what, when we used to spend like summers in Havasu and we'd cove camp, I would spend hours just like either going up and down the fucking the coast, like the little cove we're at, or I was in the water diving, looking for fucking
For rocks.
skipping rocks, bro.
Mm.
For hours, and then I'd get my nice collection and then spend the next 20 minutes because you'd spend hours and only get about 20 minutes worth of rocks because you throw them so fast. But dude, once you'd get that good one, bro, and you'd see it skip like 7 or 8 times, bro.
Have you seen that clip where the dude skips a rock across the frozen lake?
Oh yeah, and the sounds it makes, bro. It's so crazy, dude.
Oh my god.
Come here.
It's like a literal brain massage when I hear that
It
sound.
kind of sounded like a
You let
Star
down?
Wars space battle.
Oh, it's so
you lie down.
amazing.
You lie down.
I like it. It literally unlocks memories as a kid because back in like early elementary school years, just off the playground, there was this little path you could follow, and there was this tiny little pond down there. And when the winter would come, because in New England, winter comes, you get hard freezes like
Don't
that.
you guys get to do that?
We would go take little rocks
Yeah.
and whip them across the pond like that, and it wouldn't sound as cool as that giant lake that dude's fucking whipping rocks
But
across.
you'd get at least a couple like bings of the.
But yeah,
the
you'd
little
get some
laser.
cool sounds like that.
No.
Oh man, it like unlocked a core memory when I first saw it and heard it. I was like, oh my god, I remember doing that as a child.
Let him.
And now I'm like, you can't get me outside in the cold unless I have to do something.
Let him.
Like I got to shovel my car out. Otherwise,
Dude, I'll still go, but it has to be something that I enjoy or like is like interesting enough. You know what I mean?
I mean, like I'll go places, but like I'm not gonna like go do things in the outside when it's just winter.
Yeah, I don't.
Like I'm not gonna go hiking in the winter.
Here's the
No,
thing.
me neither. No.
I don't do much of anything anymore, so I don't know if I'd go out much. Well, I honestly don't go out during the winter much either. I used to go snowboarding when I was younger, but that would be like the only thing I'd go out and do. No, that's kind of a lie. I just as I've gotten older, bro, I'm not as outdoorsy as I used to be. Not saying I don't enjoy nature or being outside. It's probably
You
because I
just don't do it as much.
Yeah, but when I do it, dude, I love it. I'll tell you that. Like when I go out and like go fishing for a day, which hasn't happened in a while, or like, dude, I want to go camping so bad.
I got a new fishing rod. I gotta go fishing.
Dude, I'm kind of hoping because I'm taking a little trip next weekend. I'm kind of hoping that we go fishing.
Yeah, dude, you should try to get it in.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, I just actually inherited my grandfather's ugly stick.
It's a good.
Oh, nice, dude. Those are good
dude,
fucking rods.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
little rod, dude.
So I was like, yo,
Is it a spinning reel?
Yep.
How long is it? Is it like a 7 foot?
Yeah, I think so. And it's all one piece.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all one piece.
It's a one piece. Yeah.
Nice.
Whoa.
Yeah. I was shocked. I was like, oh,
Dude,
it's a
how
one
old
piece.
is that?
Yeah, it might be an older one.
Well, it's my grandfather's, so it's
Because I got like an ugly
probably
stick that's probably from like
Should we quick Google? When did the ugly
5?
stick come out? Ugly.
Oh, probably a long time ago. But
So
I have a
it-
2-piece. It's like a 7.5 or an 8-footer. I can't remember. It's a fucking beefy ass fucking rod. But
it's probably
two-piece.
from like I remember him
70s?
using it in the early
Oh,
90s when I
dude,
was
here
a
you go.
kid.
Here you go. Here you go.
So
Let's see here.
damn, dude.
It was introduced. Shakespeare introduced the ugly stick in 1976.
So it's probably within the first decade.
yeah,
bro.
so like that's very likely like an 80s era ugly stick. Got the clear tip, you know.
Oh yeah.
She's a beaut.
Dude, I actually would love to go fishing like more next summer. There's a lot of like lakes, or not lakes. There's actually like one lake here. There's a lot of rivers that you can fish here that are like leading out to the ocean, but like sometimes they might have like I don't know, crazy fish, I guess.
What kind? Like trout?
I know that I can catch trout in some streams. No, but I
Gonna
think
have
that they
some
might
sort of
have like
salmon, maybe?
striped bass. I think I can catch. I
You
don't
guys
even know,
have-
dude.
You got smallmouth out there?
I don't know if there is here. Like in Ontario, yeah. Like where I used to live, yeah, dude, I could catch all that fish, but I couldn't catch like a striped bass. They didn't have those. So yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful I'll go out, dangle a few, you know what I mean? See what happens.
Yeah, dude.
I definitely have, dude. One of the most like fun times I remember it was like a couple summers in a row, me and my buddy Luke, this is going back like probably I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. And dude, we fucking both got like ultralight rods and ultralight reels. Like I think that like we had it was like the longest they could have been was like 6 feet, but I think that they're like 5.5 feet long. And they had like these like we got these like Bass Pro Shops fucking they're like house brand like micro like reel. And it was like a 2 bearing. And dude, it was like a spinning reel, and we used to joke around, and we used to like always just get like super high, right? And we would go bass fishing with those rods because, dude, the minute bass, like for anybody out there that's never like fished or fished for bass, like bass hit hard, like they'll hit and they'll fucking run.
Yeah. A
So
tiny
like
one hits hard. You're like, what the hell?
yeah. So like
Go for it,
you actually have to like do some work. Like some other fish that can be bigger or just they don't even fight. But yeah, bass go crazy. So dude, you catch like I think that the biggest one is my buddy Luke caught like a 5.5 pound like a largemouth bass on this fucking 5'6" like ultralight fucking rod and reel. And dude, the whole time it looked like it was about to fucking bend completely in half.
Doing this
Like
the whole
it
time.
was like the arch, like dude, it was like that. He was like, this is him holding it. This is like fucking right down, and he's just like trying to maneuver it all. I think that the biggest one I ever caught was like a 3.5 pound on mine, and dude, it felt like you were fighting a whale with that because you have this tiny little fucking like 1 or 2 ball bearing fucking reel, and you're trying to pull in this fish on this tiny ass rod. Because if I use like my main one,
so
it'd be no
hard, bro.
problem.
It probably took forever to get line in on those things, dude.
Oh my
Dude,
god.
like it was a lot of fun. Honestly, like you'd lost more fish than you got in with
for
those because
sure.
like they'd fight and fight and fight, or like you're
What pound
it would
test were
just
you running
snap
on
the
those,
fucking
dude?
line. Probably like 5 pound. Probably like 5 pound
Yeah.
tests. Yeah, so like I think that the math is like there's some math to it, and like you can actually catch a bigger fish than a 5 pound fish on a 5 pound test. But yeah, it wouldn't be crazy like crazy. But dude, this is fun because if you use like a regular size fishing rod, yeah, dude, it would still be great. If you caught a 3 or 4 pound bass, like it's fun. Like, dude, if I could go out and catch fucking like 5 or 6, 3, 4 pound bass every single time I went fishing, I would probably go fishing all the fucking time. And with an ultralight, it's even more fucking fun. That's all I could say.
Well,
You catch a fucking perch with that shit, and it feels like a bass normally. So
you can definitely get yourself some bass in your area. I went ahead and Googled it just to see because I was curious now. Your freshwater fish in your area, you got trout, you got speckled trout, striped bass, and Atlantic salmon are your most common freshwater fishing fish. So
there you
Dude, go out
go.
there,
get
catch
you some,
salmon.
bud.
I've never caught any of those things.
Striped bass
Dude,
are
strap
fun,
bass
man.
hit. You thought, dude, largemouth hit, bro?
Yeah,
Strap bass,
Okay, then I'm
striped
addicted
bass
already.
hit
bro.
I'm
fun,
addicted.
bro.
They fucking hit, dude. They've got some fuck, cause dude, they live in like the fucking like real heavy stream areas where like the fucking current's pretty fucking strong.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they're like all fucking muscle, dude. So them babies hit. Oh, and they're good eating too, bro.
Yes, they are.
Fry them babies up,
I'll have to make sure that I get my fishing license. I don't need to get no tickets.
dude. You'll have some fun with that. You'll need some. You'll need like You'll need more than an ultralight for some.
Oh
striped
yeah,
bass,
no.
bro.
Dude,
The-
I have
the-
like a pretty good
a
size,
small-
like ugly stick with like a really nice browning reel.
Yeah,
So like
dude, just
yeah,
like
no,
a
I'm set. I'm like name branded up.
like a 2 pound striped bass will fucking snap that baby, bro. Like they fucking hit, dude. Like they're gnarly. Or even a hybrid, bro. If you get like if there's hybrids in that area, they're even fucking crazy too.
Well, you figure like if you're near enough any of like the estuaries and stuff where like you're getting that mixture, right?
That's where
Like,
they're at, dude.
you get
That
those
or like
stripers.
dam areas, bro.
Yeah.
They
I
fucking,
don't know how many like actual bass would be here. Like large or smallmouth bass. I don't think because there's like honestly, there's the biggest lake here is not big. I've driven by it a bunch of times and like I've asked a couple of people, I'm like, is this lake like the biggest lake on the island? And like not one person's been able to say, no, this one's bigger. Like they're all like, it probably is.
Well, I mean, I got bass in the pond in my backyard, so
they don't need all that much water.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I know, but like that's the only like that I'm just wondering like how they would have got there, right? Like they wouldn't have got there. Other lakes can get populated by like birds going in, birds
You don't
spreading
think
it by
they're
like it getting on their legs, whatever.
You don't think they're populating it themselves?
No, that's what I mean. Like I don't know how they would have ever been introduced. So like I feel like a lot of other lakes might not have all been like a natural bass lakes, but then because like birds might have like went in, ate, and like went somewhere else, like I don't know, it's like something like that, or like a big flood and it allowed two like lakes to connect, or you know what I mean? It's like I don't know if like how did they all get there? So like I don't know if this one by itself is gonna have them.
You just need eggs to hitchhike some way or another.
Either that or just man by man.
Yeah, somebody somebody could have
in
released
there.
them. That's possible.
That's
That's
they do
possible.
that in a lot of the waterways out here because populations are fucking down or whatever. Like that, you don't think they have a fish hatchery there? Are they like?
Oh no, they 100% do, but I don't know if they're like what they're hatching. So there's one. Oh, dude, I'm gonna Google it. I'll get back to you because like I know because I saw it and it had this fucking smell like when you went near, bro. It's
dude,
not
they're
appealing.
gnarly. They're gnarly because out here, dude, they actually go through and like during certain parts of the year they like up populations of certain species based off of like data that they take over the year to make sure that the ecosystem stays level.
Yeah, we have a herring run here that they monitor like that, where it's like if the herring are not spawning enough, then they'll start breeding those. They do a lot of that around here, actually.
We have a lot of like man-made lakes too out here that they actually what's the term? Why can't I think of the term right now?
Stocking it.
Stocking. Thank you.
Yeah, stocking the lakes and ponds. They do a lot of stocking around here too, with like some of the bass, some of the trout, that sort of thing.
Fish stock. Okay.
It's funny because as we're talking about this, I have these cool sculptures that I inherited of bass that like one of them is actually a bass hitting a lure, and like as we're talking about like the aggression, I'm like, man, it's so funny because they capture it like the way that like they just
There's fucking so
punch.
much stats when they open their fucking mouth too. They create suction through
Yeah,
their
that
gills that fucking
vortex.
sucks it into this gaping fucking hole, dude. And they just fucking gulp them down.
I mean, they are not too far off from the grouper. And like when you watch a grouper, which is, you know, a saltwater fish, but the way that it just inhales, it's the same thing. It creates this huge vortex. It sucks everything in its path.
So yeah, I found one hatchery that seems to be like a pretty big one. It's called the Abegwait. I think that it's actually on like a First Nations reserve here. Abegwait Biodiversity Enhancement Hatchery. And it says that they personally, like this individual hatchery, has well, it says that it proudly supplies the province with thousands of brook trout and Atlantic salmon that they've hatched. And it says to just like replenish stocks in island waterways. But so like they do those two fish.
Atlantic salmon's good salmon, man.
I just like don't really like fish that much. Like I don't mind fish and chips. That's about as like fish as I
Oh,
want to
dude,
get.
that's what you do with some striper, bro. You just fucking
Yeah,
fillet
eat the
it,
striped bass. Yep.
get some nice little fucking strips. Fucking put, bread that shit up with like a little bit of some shake and bake or whatever kind of breading situation you want to do. Fry it up real nice, dude. Tasty.
Yep. Yep. I agree. It's a very good white fish for a fish and chip style. Yep.
Okay. I mean, I'll
Fried,
take your word for it for now.
fried
but
catfish ain't bad either.
yeah, I can't say I've ever tried that other.
Yeah, I don't believe I've ever done catfish.
Dude, if it's, you just cube it up small so you don't risk any bones or anything like that. Just fucking fry it up real nice. Get nice and golden crispy. It's not too shabby, dude.
Why do they have like a lot more bones than other fish or something?
But yeah, they're kind of a bony fish,
Yep. Yeah.
depending on the size.
Catfish are a unique species because like they're like almost armored the way that their body is built.
Yeah, they're kind of flat.
So like yeah, I can imagine that from a chef's perspective, having to cut down and get around the bone is an execution in knife work,
Yeah,
to say the least.
you need a pretty decent sized catfish to get a good amount of meat because it's kind of a bitch to get a lot of the bone out.
I'm sure it makes for a great seafood gumbo though.
I haven't eaten much fish lately, dude. It's been a while since I've had any sort of seafood. Like I could go for some shrimp or something right now, dude, to be honest.
Yeah, my wife's not a seafood eater, so it limits
Dude, I
my
would
opportunities.
tear up a plate of some like fried shrimp right now, dude.
Yeah, there's like certain things like I do like shrimp. I do like scallops.
Never
I
had a
do like
scallop.
fish and chips like halibut or like
Good
I don't
scallop
know,
plate.
Yeah,
whitefish
I'm
or
not.
something.
That's a weird thing for me too. I'm not a huge fish and chips guy. Like it's got to be like some good fish. You know what I mean? Like it's got to be like a good fillet of something. Like a halibut. I'll do. Because there's this like fish and chip spot near where we used to camp when I'd go up to Oregon with my brother and sister-in-law. And right there on the Oregon coast, they had this dope little fish spot that you go to, and they'd have like whatever the catch of the day was. So like from day to day it would change. And it'd be fresh because they'd literally get it from the boats that like came in or whatever. And dude, you get some good shit
A
sometimes, dude.
battered deep fried halibut.
Fresh clams, dude, caught that morning.
I love some fried clams.
Dude, I never knew that I enjoyed clams until I went out there and we caught them fresh and we fried some up and then we made some clam chowder, dude. That clam chowder was fire, bro. I didn't know I liked clam chowder until that day.
I don't like clam chowder.
It was good, dude. I don't know if I like all clam chowder, but I
I
like
say,
that
yeah,
one.
New England clam chowder is the creamy kind, and then you get that
Oh,
New
yeah,
York
it-
style, which is like a tomato broth, I think.
No, this one was the creamy, like New England style. I think it was good.
And of
dude.
course, like, you know, as a New Englander, I've eaten countless bowls of clam chowder in my life.
New
And-
England clam chowder kit.
Everybody's got a variant on it.
Oh, I'm sure, dude. It's
And-
like any recipe.
Yeah, I know this. There was a restaurant that no longer exists that used to be in Boston. They had the best goddamn clam chowder. Like, it literally won best chowder in Boston like a couple of years in a row. And the thing that blew my mind with it is the amount of bacon that was involved in this chowder. And I think that was really what caused it to win awards. Like, I'm pretty confident that they had to have fried the potato a little bit in the bacon grease. And then obviously they put the bacon in the clam chowder as well.
Fire.
It was friggin' incredible. So, you know, RIP to Houston's, because that place was a banger. And yeah, they, like I said, they took it home at least twice that I remember. So, but it's funny because I was just watching Josh Wiseman, one of those YouTube chefs, cookbook author, that sort of thing. And he was doing a thing where they made food from all 50 states. And based on like their viewers, what their viewers voted the food should be to represent those states. And obviously, Massachusetts got New England clam chowder. So I'm sure it's an easy guess what California got.
I have no idea.
Tacos?
California burrito.
Oh yeah. Fire. Curry sauce, a little bit of some French fries. You know what I'm saying? Some guac.
Nobody out here does
Salsa.
anything even remotely like that, and it saddens me
Dude, it's so good, bro.
because, like, I want
And,
it.
and then you go to Del Taco, and they started doing this thing that started out, I think, somewhere near here. That started off being called the Stoner Burrito, but eventually they adopted it and put it on the menu and changed it to the Bold Burrito. But it's their normal half-pound bean and cheese burrito. They throw in French fries and then their special sauce. Dude, talking about taking the half-pound bean and cheese burrito to the next level. I have
So is it
never.
like a 3/4 of a pound burrito, basically?
It ends up being a pretty decent burrito after the French fries are in it and stuff. You know what I mean? And dude, it just tastes. It elevates it to like a 12, bro. Especially if you put a little bit of some extra hot sauce on there, depending on which one you choose, bro.
Oh, dude,
I
give me
don't
all the hot sauce.
I don't get them plain. I don't get a regular half-pound bean and cheese burrito anymore, dude. It's been Stoner or Bold Burrito or nothing.
Bro, you talk about hot sauce. There's a wing spot out here. Shout out to Speedwell. They have this shit called the ex-girlfriend hot sauce. And it is their hot mess, which is their hot sauce mixed with the gold rush that they call gold digger. So that's the ex-girlfriend, right? Hot mess gold digger. Dude, we had some leftover from some wings we had, and we put that in a breakfast burrito recently.
Were you shitting
Game.
your brains out?
Nope. But my God, the flavor is so incredible. So incredible. I need them to bottle this hot sauce so bad.
Oh, did you see recently, Sean, that Pepper X has finally been dubbed the
Yes.
hottest pepper
Yes.
by Guinness
Yes.
World Record?
It is official in the Guinness record book. The hottest pepper.
I watched the First We Feast video where they presented what's his name? Spicy Ed? Is that his name? Pepper, whatever his name is, the guy that created it.
Yeah, I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
But yeah, they
How did he create it? Crossed a bunch of peppers with a
yeah.
bunch of peppers, but then could manage to get a consistent pepper.
Yeah,
Like, that must take a long time, right?
He has. Oh yeah, dude. He's had the seeds in a vault for like 10 years or some shit. Like it's been a lifelong experience for this guy. But he's like got a lot of things under wraps and shit because people want to try to like get the pepper and start mass producing it and shit. So he's got like he carries the peppers around in like a briefcase that's locked up with a handcuff to some dude. And like it was crazy, dude. Because like
Are you fucking serious right now?
yeah, dude. They ate the pepper. Like he had this one guy, Chili Klaus, I think is one of the dude's names. He's like this like dude that's like all about like spicy foods and shit. And him and like the creator ate an entire pepper in like one bite, dude. And that the guy, not the guy that created it, but the other guy was fucking losing his mind, dude. He's like, dude,
Well, it's the hottest pepper ever.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, I've eaten the Last Dab Triple X, which was Pepper X, Chocolate Pepper X, and another Pepper X. So 3 different variants of it that were all blended to make that hot sauce. That's the one that I got the fucking hiccups on the green room from eating. Enough of that shit is like an out of body experience.
yeah, I'm good. No, thank you.
It's incredible. I was actually just watching the hot ones where they had Mick Foley.
I haven't seen it yet. I need to watch it.
When did that come out?
That was like the most recent
like
one
last week, I think.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
okay,
Friday,
okay.
I think. Yeah, dude, so good. Mick Foley is like, he's an absolute treasure. You know what I mean? Like every story I've ever heard of Mick Foley, he's an absolute treasure. And then when I watched that, I was like, God, this just cements it in my heart even more. This dude is just a genuinely wonderful human being.
Yeah, for sure.
He writes children letters as Santa Claus.
That's actually incredible.
Like, are you kidding me? What a wonderful human being that is. Goddamn mankind, dude love, Cactus Jack. He's out here
Yeah.
writing kids Christmas letters as Santa
Mick
Claus.
Foley, obviously.
What a legend. And then, of course, one of my favorite characters he ever played, Cactus Sack.
Cactus Sack. I'm not familiar.
It was for the JCW.
Wow.
Yeah, that was strangely enough, that was a way that JCW got some real credibility. They managed to pick up Foley for a brief period to play Cactus Sack. And they even picked up Doink the Clown.
Really?
Yeah, they briefly had Doink the Clown at one time.
Yeah, you guys have lost me here. I don't know any of these names except for Mick Foley.
Or
like his personas, really.
I forgot it already, but the clown guy, Doink. Yeah, Doink the Clown. Dude, he was like kind of like he was a jobber basically.
Yep.
He's basically a jobber in like the WWF. Like this was before it was like together. It would have been in the 90s. Late 90s, maybe.
Yeah,
so I don't
90s.
blame you for not knowing. He was a jobber.
Yeah, he was
the
just
only
he was
era
one of those.
I really remember is like the Attitude Era, really. You know, like Undertaker, Stone Cold, Goldberg.
Yeah, this would have been like just before that.
Yeah, like Doink was just one of those people.
That.
He just filled out the card.
And he was like, he was sort of a name.
I didn't even really watch wrestling when the Attitude Era was a thing. I just knew about it because I had friends that were into it. You know.
I was so into it when I was a kid. That era.
Dude, you gotta remember, I was into like Power Rangers and that shit when I was a kid, dude. That's what I was watching.
Oh man.
Dude, Shawn Michaels, like Yokozuna,
yes,
fucking The Rock, Stone Cold, all those guys. That was like in the time I was probably like 13 to 20. It's like when they were all kind of like in the scene. obviously The Rock and Stone Cold would have went beyond that, but
Bro, like
I
Undertaker
remember
versus
watching it. It was pretty good.
Mankind, the infamous fucking Hell in a Cell cage. Oh
Dude,
my
there's some
god.
crazy ones back then, for real.
Undertaker literally choke slams Mick Foley through the roof of the cage into a floor covered in thumbtacks.
Yeah.
Like,
And dude, like that's the thing, right? So like when people are like, yo, fucking wrestling's fake, it's like, yeah, wrestling is fake to some degree, but that shit's fucking real. Like that's real.
Oh yeah,
Like, you know what I
like
mean?
the
Like, is there
pounding that
acting? Yes.
yeah,
But
like
is the abuse real?
the outcomes may be written
Yes.
now, but like the fucking matches are like real, like the fucking acrobatics and all that bullshit. They may not be hitting each other at full fucking force, but they do make contact with each other
yeah, I
at
mean,
points.
some
And the
hits are
fucking
landing.
and
for
that
sure.
fucking ring ain't like fucking mattresses. It's just plywood. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's why it
With
sounds the
canvas
way it
over
sounds. Yeah.
Big love to you, Matt Sinister.
Yeah, dude. I was gonna
The-
say, like, he like
Those chairs
talked
are
all
real
about that.
chairs.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
tables are real tables.
You learn how to take these stunt hits like a Hollywood stuntman
Dude,
does.
there's even points where fucking they would actually cut themselves to bleed. So it made it more effective.
So obviously I know you want to go watch the Foley thing, but just a little piece of it. He was talking about how there's the old school technique that, like, when he was first coming up, one of the things to make someone bleed was to actually hit them in a specific spot above the eyebrow in a downward motion, and that would cause
Yeah.
it to burst
Yeah.
open and bleed. And he's like, I was one of the last ones to be, in that era, because obviously, like, it's hard to do. It's so much easier to do it like the old ECW way, where they would hide a razor blade and just
Yeah.
quickly slice.
I heard Ric
Because
Flair talk about how that's how you used to do it back in the day.
like, that's the thing, like, it's way fucking easier than actually getting somebody to hit you correctly in just the right key spot to burst some blood, just to sell the shot, but like that barbed wire in Japan, that shit's real. You know what I mean? The fire, that's real.
Dude, Japan was on another level though,
Come on.
bro.
They take
on.
it so seriously, though. Like the way that
It is definitely different, for sure.
the way that America, takes things like football and
Come on.
baseball seriously,
Come on.
they take
Lie
their
down.
pro
No, lie
wrestling
down.
that
Oh,
seriously.
dude,
Down.
it's crazy out there, dude. They just take
Down.
like any combat sport
And he
to another level out
Down.
there, dude.
I think it's any sport in general that they get into, any competition.
down. I think that is probably true, because like it's not like they don't take other things very seriously there. Like they obviously take like all sorts of martial arts seriously, but they also take baseball super
Oh,
seriously.
Yeah.
dude, yeah.
They take sumo super seriously. So like I'm sure that they probably are. That's just like a part of a lot of people from Japan's like nature, right? Like they're very competitive, and like they're very goal oriented or something.
I remember how big of a deal it was when Boston picked up Daisuke, because it was like, we're picking up somebody from the Japanese baseball league. He's like so amazing. We were like, we went way outside of the normal Major League Baseball. We found this guy and went, we need him. Like, good old Boston Red Sox.
Well, dude, what about when like Ichiro was just like fucking running shit in the MLB for like a long time, dude?
Yeah.
Dude, he came in. I'm pretty sure I'm probably not remembering right. I'm high, but whatever. I'm pretty sure, dude, that he like almost won MVP and he won Rookie of the Year at the same time.
Dude, the guy
Like
was
he
a
was like
beast.
he was like older, but still like, dude, the man came here and like just did nothing but hit.
Yep.
He had like an amazing story. How about like he literally like taught himself to be left-handed at an early age because he realized that he was already like 2 steps closer to first base. Like just that kind of shit is fucking crazy. And if you ever watch his old replays, his swings were all leading to him being in the proper takeoff position. Like it's like he just would swing the ball and already be like directly aimed and almost in stride towards first base. Like the man legged out like so many infield singles. Like he just had such a unique way of hitting that I'd never seen. I've been watching baseball for 35 years at this point.
He had 117 home runs, bro.
Yeah, dude, how many hits did he hit? 3,000 or
Dude,
no?
3,089 hits, bro.
Let's go. Yeah,
His batting average was .311.
Wow, so he had a lifetime average of 311. And dude, I bet you
780 RBIs.
how many stolen bases did he have?
Yeah,
500?
he had according to this right here, let me go. Where did it go? Where did
He
his
probably
runs
didn't have
go?
500. 400 maybe.
Wait, let me go back to this beginning. He had 1,420 runs. Stolen bases, career. 509.
Yo, dude. So and how can you find out quickly like how old he was when he
Oh
came
wait,
in?
was that? He was.
I'm gonna guess he was like 26. 27 maybe. But I feel like 26.
Let's see where. I guess I could just go here.
Yeah, you might have to do like the math, like what year he was born and then what year he came in the league on the Mariners.
All right, this is gonna be. So he was born October 1973 and joined. Let's see what this is. And he debuted in 2001, so he was 27 years old.
27. Dude, so he did all that from the time he was 27, dude. That's fucking crazy. Dude, about he would have been if he could have well, sorry, whatever. I mean, but if he had started playing here when he was like 20, 21, which no doubt he probably could have played.
Dude, he
would have had as many hits as like Pete Rose,
dude,
man.
he was close to 10,000 at bats, bro.
Dude, because he just bat lead off that's like he was always batting lead off. And so he was a part of some great teams in Seattle, bro, where they probably just put so many runs up. He was getting probably like 7 ABs a game, dude.
That's just a crazy, it's a crazy numbers thing, right? Like I think about that's where the math shines when you think about those statistics.
Dude, that's why I love baseball so much. So that's my favorite sport to like watch and speculate on. Like I love the Maple Leafs, don't get me wrong, I love the NHL, but like I just love baseball because of the numbers. And it's funny because you know how many people are like, baseball's fine, but I hate all the stupid bullshit that they add in, like this stat on this day or this fucking wind or whatever. And I'm like, bro, I love that shit. Like it just makes me realize that like there are things that some people don't like for reasons that you like something. You know what I mean?
100%. 100%.
Because they like baseball is very stats driven though, for sure.
Well, that's it. Like I'm not a baseball fan, but when I hear the numbers, I can appreciate the stats of it all. To reflect on the notion of, in 10 years, let's say somebody can put this kind of an average in, and those are facts. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're hard driven facts, they're actual statistics, and it becomes mind boggling. Like you're right. If he did start playing, then he could be a Guinness Book World Record holder.
Dude, he could just be like literally like tops on multiple things in the Hall of Fame. Like he'd probably be like up there for stolen bases. He probably would have been like up there for batting average because his batting average over the first like 10 years of his career was probably way over 311. Like, dude, the last like few years of his career, he didn't even bat 300. So like, he held on longer, but he was probably holding on to get 3,000 hits. And he was probably just good enough to continue to play. But his numbers in some of those would be down, right? Like batting average. Like if you're gonna just kind of like
Dude.
hang on, you don't have the speed, you're not gonna hit as good a batting average. It's gonna pull down your career.
He
batting
spent
average.
11 years with the fucking Mariners alone, bro.
And he came here when he was 26, 27.
Yeah, and then after that, he went to the Yankees for 2 years.
Dude.
Then he went to the Marlins for another 2 years.
But he played till he was 42, basically.
Oh, and then he had another stint with the Mariners from 2018 to 2019. What was that, Chris?
I forget.
He's well into his 40s.
Oh yeah, no, he was like 43 then, I guess, when he like he's dude. If he was playing baseball till he was my age, that's wild, man.
That is wild.
Not that like I feel like
He
I'm
was
ancient,
45.
but like that's crazy to be playing professional. 45?
Dude, there are baseball trainers who don't even train in baseball that long.
The second oldest player.
Holy shit.
Damn.
Now that's a statistic. Wow.
Dude.
My mind has officially been blown, boys.
I agree, actually. I agree entirely. That is pretty fucking mind-blowing.
Wow. That's a cool statistic. And looking at the time, it's about that time for us to start wrapping it up. So we do appreciate all y'all for joining us here at the Shedtime podcast. And like we always do, I'm going to send it on over to Chris to start winding us down.
Oh man, what a fucking chilled out day today was. Hopefully everybody just had a good one. Hopefully you're having a good one right now. If not, hopefully tomorrow's better. Yeah, dude, I'll just like the normal shill. Just go check out shedtimepodcast.com. Feel free to look at all the links on there, including some like our Patreon. That'd be cool too. Of course, like anything that goes there just ends up bringing back to the show. It's sponsored like a few things so far. It's going to probably continue to sponsor some things within the show. So just keep a lookout for that. I think that's it for me. So everybody be safe, have a good week, and live your best life. James, take it away.
As always, shout outs to all the Shedheads for all you guys' continuous support. We greatly appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys go over and check out the Green Room if you guys haven't checked it out. It's a little live show that we do over there on Friday night, spreading some positive vibes and hanging out with our more vape oriented community. But of course, everybody's welcome over there because it's just the cool hangs. We're not always talking about vape stuff, but we do some cool stuff like build offs and hangs and stuff like that. So come check that out. Other than that, make sure you guys are leaving those 5-star reviews on all those podcasting platforms and letting your friends know about the podcast because that helps us out. You know what I mean? Of course, check out the Patreon if you want to get a little, sneak peek of, some stuff, like discounts or, maybe Discord links or, possibly early access to episodes and stuff like that. Other than that, I'm going to end it as I always do, sending out positive vibes, crisp high fives. Don't forget to tell someone you love them, and a little bag or dab will do you, Sean.
Yes, indeed. Well, once again, friends, thank you so much for tuning in with us. We really do appreciate you. If you head on over to shedtimepodcast.com and check out that Patreon, we would truly, truly appreciate that as well. You're going to get that early access to episodes. You're going to get the video well before it ever hits YouTube to the public, access to the Discord, and so much more. So with all that, I'll bring it to a close like I always do and remind you, don't let the bastards get you down. Be cool, don't be a dick, and whatever it is that you do, be sure and have some fun. And it's the Shed Time Podcast, and it's time to roll on up and roll on out.
Dynavap, Dynavap, Dynavap. Looking to cut the cord on your dry herb vape? Dynavap. Trying to get the best taste from your herb? Dynavap. Ready to take your sesh to the next level? Then meet Dynavap, the best way to vape your flower or concentrate. Concentrates? That's right, your flower or hash can be vaped using Dynavap. Check out Dynavap.com to learn more. That's Dynavap.com. Lose the ash? Dynavap.
What's going on, Shedheads? It's your boy Frames Janklin. Are you looking to step up your match game or have a raw copper, brass, or stainless mod or RDA that you're absolutely tired of polishing? Then you need to go and hit up my man Ashton of Palmer's Powders. He does some absolutely amazing powder coating work. He offers many different colors and finishes at an absolutely killer price. This man is taking powder coating to a whole new level, and he can make your setup an absolute masterpiece. You can go follow him over on Instagram at Palmer's Powders, and you can go check out pricing on his website, palmerspowders.com. That's palmerspowders.com. And as always, let's just vape on, Shedheads.
I want you to think of your favorite rebuildable right now. Yeah, okay, so you have a layer cake in your hand, and now you're about... Oh, sorry, yeah, that's not everyone's favorite. That's just mine. So think of your favorite rebuildable atomizer. Think about how good of a vape it produces for you. Now, take that and amplify it. And the way that you amplify that is you put in some Breezestone coils. Breezestone coils are handcrafted in Adelaide, Australia. They're made from some of the finest quality wire that you can get. I believe it's wire Buddha. You take those coils, you take them out of that phenomenal packaging that clearly shows how much care that Adam puts on the quality of his coils and the insurance that you get them in good shape. You put them in that favorite RDA, and guess what? You have coils that now sing better than Celine Dion. Go check out Breezestone coils. You can find them on localvape.com and also steelvalleyvapors.com. Solid.
Hell yeah, dudes.
I am so high.
Dude, I am too, bro. I was kind of like fucking phasing out there towards the end somehow. It was
Fucking
weird.
edible, man, is getting me good.
I'm in a good spot right now.